afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's video. We are going to be walking the York Beltline Trail. They're located on Marlee Avenue and Roselawn. So that's the intersection. That's looking southbound. Roselawn, and this is Marlee. So this is the beginning, or the end, however you want to look at it, of the York Beltline. It's pretty windy, so I apologize if you're getting a lot of interference, a lot of wind noise. And it is a cloudy Sunday afternoon in April. When I left home, actually, what time did I leave home? Yeah, I left home probably about 40 minutes ago, 35 minutes ago. And it took me, so I walked here from home, which is sort of in an Eglinton neighborhood. So yeah, it took me about 37 minutes, something like that, to get here. And so I'm going to be walking to the end of the York Beltline Trail. And that is, it concludes, I think, at Bowie Drive or Bowie Road. We'll see when we get there. And this is a newer extension of the Beltline Trail in Toronto. I mean, it's been for sure a few years, but I sort of only really discovered it a couple of years ago. And I'm more used to the K Gardner because I used to run that a lot. And this is just on the other side of the Allen. So if you were to take the K Gardner going westbound, then you kind of hit a wall, like a dead end. But then if you just sort of follow the trail going north, and then you cross a bridge, and you'll hit Roselawn. And then you just go south for half a block, and then you see the entrance to the York Beltline. But this trail is paved, and that's why I want to take you on this trail, because it's paved. The Gardner is pretty mucky this time of year, so it can't be walked in the winter because it's really iced over. And this time of year it's pretty mucky, so there's not a lot of people that are on the K Gardner Beltline in the winter and spring months, because it is really mucky right now. But I will take you down that. I did, I think, early last summer, late spring. I took you down. I'm pretty sure I did a video. If not, I'll be sure to do one. So yeah, I do want to do the trails. I want to take you on this walk, and the K Gardner, and then the one that leads down into Brickworks. I think that's all. They're all connected. They'll have, I think, different names, but the Brickworks one is it's a nice walk down there too. So I hope everybody is doing well. I missed recording, missed you guys. I've been back now from Arizona over almost 2 weeks now. And so I came home, and then 2 days later I drove David to the airport because he went skiing in Whistler with some of his buddies from back in the day. So they had a good time skiing. So what I did in his absence was I had friends over. So on Saturday I had two people that I used to work with. They came over for Saturday lunch, and then on Sunday, last Sunday, we could go today, my friend Catherine came over, and we went for a nice long walk, and then hung out at my place for a bit. And then Monday I went and I picked up David from the airport. So I may have mentioned this to you guys before, but I'm not so comfortable driving on the highways anymore. You know, I used to drive to and from Oakville every day years ago, and then I had another job that took me also on the 401, and sometimes I'd go to Waterloo for work. I had no problem, but these last few years, it's only been the last few years I've been traveling the 401 has never been on the agenda, so I found alternate routes. So getting to the airport, good thing was it was a Monday evening, still kind of light out. Left home at 7, and I took Eglinton, but then Google Maps took me away from Eglinton just to avoid all the congestion, which was great because I was moving the whole time, and ended up on Airport Road, and then at the terminal. But yes, it would have been faster to go the 401, there's no question, but much less comfortable drive. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Is that just, what is that? Just getting more paranoid with age? I hate to think so. I've been driving since I was 18. Driving the highways always up until a few years ago, and then that stopped. Oh well, so be it. I think I mentioned to you guys I hardly drive anyway. I try and take my car out once a month. Ugh, that's not good for the car. But it's a good car. It's a little 5-speed, 4-door with a hatchback. I love that little car. It's a 2007, and it's, I think, 129,000 kilometers. And I got it in 2010. So it's so nicely paved here. We would come here on our bikes. You can't do it in the middle of a summer day because it is so congested, particularly on the weekends. But coming early in the morning when the sun is up, like getting out and being here at 6 in the morning is nice. So we take the K. Gardner Beltline from Oriole Park and come all the way through down here. And on the bike to and from, it's, I think, maybe an hour. But yeah, it's a nice ride with a little traffic interference, except for crossing some of the streets. But other than that, it's smooth cycling. And looking at this trail now, like there's hardly anybody here. In the summertime it's a lot busier, but it's not half as busy even in the summer here as it is on the K. Gardner, which is more central, midtown. And a lot more pedestrian and cycling traffic. This is a nice trail. K. Gardner Beltline Trail is, you know, it's tree-covered canopies over the trail. It's all like dirt trail. It's very comfortable for running because it's cushioned, you know, with the ground. It's not super hard, the ground. So last night, David and I went to the hockey game with the Montreal Canadiens and of course the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the Leafs won 3-2. I'm not like a super Leafs or hockey fan for that matter, but you know, it's one thing watching a game on TV, it's another thing seeing it live. And it was a really, really good game last night, and it went by super quickly. We had super great seats, thanks to Hal. Shout out to Hal. If you're watching, thank you very much. We really did enjoy the hockey game last night. Hal is a squash buddy of David's. It's looking southbound. What this is gotta be not sure what street that is. Dufferin, maybe. Yeah, so good game last night. So we took the train down, of course. Well, we had to walk to St. Clair because the subway system, you know, they do their weekly maintenance, which is every weekend, by the way. And the subway, couldn't get the subway until we got to St. Clair. So we walked to St. Clair, hopped on the train, went down to Union Station, and our seats were really close to the main floor. Like, we just had to go up one set of stairs. Like, we went up, you know, the ramp, and then just turned the corner, went up a few stairs, and boom, there our seats were. So we were nice and close to the ice, and right at almost at the center line. So really super good seats, nice and close. And David had pizza, I ate popcorn. Yeah, it was a good time. And then when the game ended, because we were so close to the doors, we just, like, you know, went down a few steps down the ramp, out the door, and walked to Union Station, and boom, got a seat and hardly anybody on the train. So that was good, because we have been to the Air Canada Centre before, or the Scotiabank Plaza, or Scotiabank Arena rather, for concerts in the past, and getting to the train station was like chaos, right? Because everybody is emptying out of the arena. There's a gazillion people, and you have to wait for a train, and that's kind of not worth it. So we always end up walking a good chunk to get an empty train. Anyhow, last night was ideal. So then, of course, coming home, we got off at St. Clair and walked home and watched a little bit of the news and immediately went to bed because it was 11 o'clock. I think it was after 11 o'clock. Oh, it says here, stairs to Fairbank Avenue. Huh. Yeah, interesting part of town. So let's see where we are here. Okay, we started here. Oh no, we started here. Yeah, here. We are halfway through. Yeah, so we did cross Dufferin. Remember, I went over that bridge. I wasn't sure where we were, so that was Dufferin. So we are here. Then we're walking here to Bowie Avenue. So as you can see, there's a lot of residential, but there's still certainly some industrial or commercial. So what else can I talk to you guys about? Oh, we started watching the second season of Bridgerton. First season I really liked. Really liked it. And then the second season, I found that, I think we only watched 2 episodes so far, and I fell asleep. I was kind of bored by it. And I think it's because it's the same sort of storyline. Characters are maybe less interesting, or kind of been there, done that. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, I'm not that into it. And I was so excited when the second season launched. Now it's like, meh. If I continue to watch it, I can expect to fall asleep again. Oh well. be running in shorts, bare legs. That's a sign of youth. I say that because, you know, it's funny, I was talking to David about this not too long ago, where I think we saw somebody, same kind of thing. It was, you know, still winter, April, or it was March, I think. And, you know, it's cold here. I've got gloves on. And, you know, we see these younger people, and they're, you know, have their coats wide open, and they're wearing shorts, and you know, I just shake my head. And so we were talking about that. I think, well, it's always these young people that just don't feel the temperature quite the same way as someone my age. And I'm in my early 60s. And then I remember being in and telling David this story when I was in junior high school. So I remember grade 7. And I don't know if you guys remember Woods jackets. This was a winter jacket that was really popular in Calgary. Sort of like down-filled, sort of patched, like puffy, like a puffy jacket like you see today, but a little different. And then they weren't long. They always sort of concluded just right at the hip. Anyway, the cool thing was to do, or rather not to do, it wasn't cool, or it was cool to wear your winter coat unzipped, undone, in the middle of a Calgary winter, which I can say, in my opinion, Calgary winters are colder than Toronto winters. Yeah, and not cool to do up our coats. So I remember, like, you know, being out with my friends in a big group, and nobody would have their coats done up, and like we're freezing. But it wasn't the same kind of freezing as it would be today, only because our metabolism was running 100 miles an hour back then. And didn't feel the cold the same way that we do today. Anyhow, I had to laugh because I'm thinking, yeah, I can attest to not being so affected by the cold when I was younger. Okay, here we're at Castle Field. So where the lights are, that's Castle Field. And this is Ronald Avenue. So there's Ginger's. It's a bougie homewares store, decor. It's looking southbound. And this here is LT. A very bougie, high-end, again, decor store, residential decor store. Beautiful, beautiful things in here. Very, very expensive. It's the kind of place you want to look and maybe get ideas and then start shopping around for dupes. So this isn't necessarily an area of town that I'd want to be here, you know, at dusk on a non-summer day, only because there's not a lot of people here, and there's a lot of commercial here, so there wouldn't be a lot of street traffic or even pedestrian traffic. So I know I wouldn't feel so comfortable being here alone for too long. But in the summer it is pretty here. Now we're finally coming into some nature. There's a lot of shrubs and trees along here, and everything is still, you know, waiting to just waiting for the summer to hit, their spring to hit, so they can start blooming again. So it's pretty gray and brown, but it is pretty here in the summer. Things are a lot greener. It's a nice pathways, particularly for people that have difficulty with the stairs, and for cyclists to come down. It's so quiet in here. It is really peaceful. So that street, I just wanted to point out that street that I just crossed, Ronald Road, and when I crossed over Ronald Road, that street gets super busy during the weekday, particularly during like rush hour. Like, it looks like a little innocuous street, but it's not. It's super busy, and I know that because I came out here, I think, on my bike, I think late morning on a weekday, and trying to cross that road at, like, where we crossed versus going up to the light, was kind of impossible. So unfortunately, I was forced to do the right thing and actually go to the light and cross the street there, and then backtrack. But what I would like to think that maybe they might be able to do in the future is have that little meridian like they do on Avenue Road for pedestrians and cyclists who are walking the Beltline, where you can station yourself at least part way through the road safely, and wait until the other lane of traffic frees up so you can cross. That's been really helpful. That's been the one on Avenue Road, that little meridian along the Caledonia Beltline on Bathurst is super great, and the one on Avenue Road is great because you can station yourself there until the traffic frees up, and it's basically in the middle of the road. But I remember when that wasn't there, when those center meridians were not there. And even running in the early morning, I used to run down there, and rush hour traffic was starting, and having to really, it was not very comfortable having to cross those roads in the early morning. Sometimes I was forced to actually go to the lights and cross at the lights. Now, I know that sounds like the right thing to do, and I should be doing that anyhow, but trust me, when you're on the trail, you want to continue to the other side of the trail, which is directly across the street, versus having to walk up or down to a light and then backtrack down. It's just not something you want to do. So people just naturally will cross the road that connects directly to the other side of the trail, and it can be dangerous. So hopefully they'll do it back on Ronald Road and put that center meridian there at some point, as this trail people become more aware of this trail, and as residential homes and apartments start to occupy this area more. Like, this is really industrial. You can see probably through the trees there, it's really industrial. How long that lasts, I don't know how long that's gonna last. The city is really filling up, taking down a lot of buildings to put up even taller buildings. Look at this, this is all industrial here. So when we get to the end of the trail, I'm gonna turn off the camera, but I will do a little, because I'm just basically gonna walk back home, and but I do want to, I'll do, I think, a little video along a street that I really like. It's a residential street, and just near the Allen. So we're coming up to the conclusion. Now this, I think, or is it the building right next door, just to the south of this building, is Canada Goose. You know, Canada Goose coats. It's their, I think it's their manufacturing facility. It kind of looks like one, but I'll show you it. So just up ahead here, I don't know if you can see the bench, and just up ahead, this is where the York Beltline concludes. But I want to show you Canada Goose. Now, when I was here last, would have been early fall. I would have cycled through here, and I did check, and Canada Goose was still here. So, oh my goodness, they've closed this off? Oh no, I wonder why they closed this off here. So we just came off of the York Beltline, so this is the conclusion, or the start, however you want to look at it. Depends what direction you're coming from. That's the very west end that I came from, or sorry, that I concluded at. Here, Bowie Avenue. Yeah, and up here, this building right up here. And I think up there where you see the traffic, the cars that are driving east and west, I think, I could be wrong, but I think that's Eglinton. Now let's see, this is the building that I think is Canada Goose. I have a feeling it still is, because you can see the picnic tables out here. Now it looks like it would certainly be administration offices, but I think in the back, part of the building that we looked at from the trail probably is manufacturing. Yeah, see, Canada Goose. Canada Goose. All right, folks, this is as good a place as any to conclude this video. I'm going to pick up a little part 2, I guess, when I get closer to the Allen and show you one of my favorite streets. Thank you very much for joining me. This is Boomer Girl Walking, signing off.